Hey everyone, this podcast is coming to you from the Psychic Dolphin Garage. You can support this show and our larger efforts to build a leftist community through podcasting over at patreon.com/Psychic Dolphin Garage. That's patreon.com/PSYCHICDOLPHIN Garage, which is spelled like it sounds.
The cultural split that occurred in 2012 that we colloquially refer to as the world ending has never yet been pinpointed and named. But I have a theory that would explain how shitty the internet has become and how mainstream platforms are targeted by people who should have been rejected from being online and yet found each other and banded together. People that narrate blocking in text-based communication. And we know that like the incel movement has come to light recently. We know that things like Gamergate have bubbled up from the netherworld of the internet, but in 2012, when those people wholesale abandoned the mainstream online platforms, we had not yet recognized that they had left us, and so the culture was not ready for such an exodus.
I'm not quite understanding. So you're saying that they are no longer present, and that's why it's bad?
They are.
He says he misses those Gamergate fucks, Bo.
Yeah. Wait, is this whole podcast about ethics in games journalism? Because I have not been following that thread.
No, I'm saying the Wolverine meme, gently stroking the face of that female journalist.
No, of fucking Vivian James, which I still see a lot of people sharing fucking from like Facebook pages that are like Vivian James V, and it's like you weren't fucking there, man. You weren't fucking there.
No, I'm saying that in 2012 was when they left the cultural voice online, and instead of being integrated into into the kind of
platforms. Web 2.0 social media that regular people use.
Yeah, they
that
just
non-pedophiles use. Yeah.
Clearly, there's an underground of internet that exists.
Yeah,
where people only communicate in narrating their blocking.
So you're saying like literal, like unironic Tips Fedora kind of stuff is what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was another thing I was not understanding.
He's actually a huge fan of the Tennessee Titans and their run scheme. He's like, it's all about the blocking, honestly.
Sports.
At this point in the playoffs, when you're heading into the championship game, clock control and blocking. Two most important things on any team.
No. I mean,
Love that clock and ball torture they get down to.
Tips Fedora.
Oh, yes.
That's like a sports thing. That's like two sports things, is the clock and the ball. So that's why that joke's good. No, Zach, I fucking feel you here, and I like this thesis. It needs like a weird, like, conspiratorial bent to it to really sell it, I think.
Yeah, no, I haven't figured out the conspiratorial bent because I don't know what their objective is.
Do they have one?
Who knows? Like certainly things such as Gamergate and incel culture have bubbled up from it, but I don't think that there's an end game to it. It's just we experienced a split and we exist inside of that split, and we have to resolve either existing as a culture with that split, or we either have to ride through being divided, or we have to find a way to bring both sides back together. Mm-hmm. And if that
essentially wait out the clock until they just go away, or figure out a way to fucking synthesize. Like, no, okay, you know what? No, alright, to synthesize normie culture and, like, terminally, like, toxically online culture, you know what that is? It's those fucking dumb doomer comics that everybody's been parodying lately, of the guy with the fucking cigarette and the e-girl, and it's like, oh, you don't fucking get me because I listen to Death Grips. That's the whole fucking, that's the synthesis. So, that's what you get, man.
Wojak memes will heal humanity.
Don't you fucking put that on me. It's 2020. It's a new year. Don't you fucking speak that evil into my life.
Yeah, I'm so excited with Wojak memes replacing Rage Comics. It's now going to be We All Can Has Cheeseburger.
Little a cheeseburger as a snack.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
I've cracked the code.
Oh god.
Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Kelton.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Bo.
And welcome to another episode of Psychic Dolphin Garage. This week, we don't actually have a guest for the first time in what feels like forever.
Yeah,
You know?
and not because they at the last minute messaged us and said, "Hey, I'm moving states."
My
Country?
dog ate my podcast.
Yeah, this is the first planned out just the boys episode. So
We had a guest, but you wouldn't know him. They go to a different podcast. Anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of nice just going back to the old school format, you know.
Yeah, not having to
we're
explain the docket to someone, not having to tell them for the third time to stop reading the docket verbatim.
We're recording directly onto cassette tapes in a fucking,
It's so
water,
good to see you all here in insert city name. This is my favorite city.
They sure do have food here, yes? And how about that local landmark?
Yeah, it's just wild to me that it's mid-January and we hadn't actually planned on doing a solo episode, so to speak, since September 1st.
Ugh.
It's just been such a long time. But,
I've gained a year on my age card. They punched another year on the age card in between us.
You went into the fucking age department. They punched you a hole in the card.
Yeah.
It fucking feels like, and I'm sure fucking you guys feel the same way. It feels like these first couple weeks of January have been a year in and of themselves. It has
absolutely.
real early 2016 energy, and I'm not sure how to feel about that.
Oh, you mean it's an election year, and so we live in hell, and it's inescapable?
Yeah.
The gaping maw of social media drags out our existence that much longer?
Yeah, well, in response to this existential crisis that we've all been having so far, we have done a little bit of work on our podcast formatting on our social media.
We all agreed to record it with pants on now, just to be professional.
It's really weird. Bo keeps on getting shorter and shorter capris as each episode moves along.
I'm just testing the limits of what can be considered business casual, all right?
Just starting to wear a kilt just as justification.
I got mine ordered. Were we not switching to kilts? Is that not what I got from Bo's messages?
It's a kilt coup is what's happening. So there is going to be a bit of a formatting shift of where we're moving to doing guests every other week. And we're going to be playing games with our guests. Because if there's one thing we all enjoy, it's playing games with people.
Yeah.
And
you guys don't want to fucking just listen to
just
a
ask our
podcast where we
exes.
sit around and play with ourselves.
And then every other week, of course, then that means we're going to do just the boys episodes. Or, if we're not able to make it, that's when we'll grab some quality pinch
Some
hitters
rando
from
off Twitter, yes.
Yes. Either or, honestly. And those will be the episodes where we're answering questions and voicemails. So we'll be doing that as well at the end of the episode. There are a couple of other things that we would want to get to, but we're going to save that for plugs because I believe in y'all to listen all the way to the end. Definitely let's care about us enough.
Yeah, let's definitely front load the fucking podcast with process stuff.
Yeah, can you imagine this is someone's first episode and they're just like,
well,
great.
you see here in document 56B, it says that the podcast can't exceed an hour and 30 minutes in length, and so if it does, they are entitled to an additional episode.
I'm gonna not continue to do that. It sounds too similar to my real voice.
Yeah,
no, we're just gonna
sound like Virgil, Texas. How could you?
Wait, did y'all listen to that, by the way, that fucking skullduggery interview?
I listened to a little bit of it, and I thought
I did that instead of
good.
working Friday, and it was great. But,
Hell yeah! Oh,
yeah, no, I
the whole time,
definitely
just
recommend
on
it.
repeat.
Yeah, no, exactly, and just again, no pants because I'm really pushing for that. Who needs pants to be business professional? It's literally like a blazer, a nice tie, a nice fucking shirt, and just nothing else.
Weirdly enough, still
Shoes.
black socks, business shoes the entire way.
Oh yeah.
lacking pants.
Look, you're not allowed to wear pants until you earn it, and by earn it, I mean you receive a call from someone claiming to be Apple tech support, and you tell them, "Fuck off, you aren't Apple tech support." I know
and
better.
they say, well, joke's on you. You have a ton of child porn on this IP address.
And you say, fuck you, you don't know my IP, don't ever talk to me or my router ever again.
So for those of us who don't know what this is referring to...
Oh, you mean people who haven't been incredibly online?
Yeah, I was going to say people
a New
who
York
aren't...
Times journalist is fessing up to watching child porn.
Yeah, this
on
isn't
Twitter.
going to be on your father's news channel. On your fucking... This isn't your grandpa's podcast.
Imagine if MSNBC just was like, all right, and our next upcoming guest, Paul Krugman, has just admitted on Twitter that he has a bunch of child pornography on his IP address?
Yeah, believe it or not, this isn't our Hell World segment. This is just the tweet of the week. Where he literally tweeted
this is
out.
the new bar for Hell World. Is just everything sucks forever. All right, Kelton, roll that beautiful tweet footage. I'm assuming you have the tweet ready to just read out loud.
Whackety Sax just starts playing over and over again.
Well, I'm on the phone with my computer security service, and as I understand it, someone compromised my IP address and is using it to download child pornography. I might just be a random target, but this could be an attempt to QAnon me. It's an ugly world out there. Signed, Paul Krugman.
Yeah, this is clearly like a way to get out in front of, hey, I'm a just absolute fucking Chris Hansen bait scumbag. You know?
Okay, or better, he
Okay.
probably got called and they said that there was child pornography because what are old people more afraid of than child pornography?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's actually not that big a deal, guys, right? You know, like in the 80s, everyone was like, whoa, that's child pornography. And,
And
know,
I'm
they were
like,
hating on
dude,
weed,
get out
but
of my
now-
van.
Yeah, and then other people were like, oh, well, you know, it's the 90s or the early aughts. Like, it's okay to do some mild child pornography for, like, medical reasons, you know?
I don't know, but continue, sure.
Yeah, when Paul Krugman heard that New York State was legalizing something, he got very confused as to
He
what
just
it
got
was.
way ahead of himself, yeah. Ugh.
Actually, I'm glad that out of all the out of all the journalists and boomers that are online, that it wasn't someone like maybe some presidential candidate that could have gotten called by this. That someone
God.
could have hit up and tried to fool with this very common scam. It's really is too bad that Joe Biden hasn't been scammed yet.
No, but can you imagine though, like Tom Steyer and Mike Bloomberg buying all these attack ads to be like, we have never been accused of having any possession of child pornography, unlike Joe Biden. Scary quotes. Everything cuts to black and white, him fondling people's hair and smelling them awkwardly.
That really is a weird, like, thing that nobody's really gone down. Like, of course, like, very early on into the fucking, election season, which...
We've
what is
normalized
that?
it. That's
2
what
years ago?
happens. That's
Yeah, I
exactly
guess
what
so.
happens.
Like,
because
fuck.
everything is awful, but then we make so many jokes about it that then it becomes a trope, and then it becomes, no longer gauche or in vogue to mention about how Joe Biden's a fucking creep. And so then now we move on to, like, other stuff, like how he's calling out fat people and saying that they need to do push-ups. Which, I mean, like, if we really wanted, like, Joe Biden to get canceled, let's just, like, show him a photo of Lizzo and be like, tell us your thoughts on this human being. 90 seconds, uninterrupted. Go.
Well, if I were sitting in a diner and she was sitting next to me and...
Staffers
There
running
was-
down the aisles, like, just...
Yeah, I mean, it is weird, though, to think that he is still quasi viewed as the front runner. Because, I mean, I know there are now polls that are showing Bernie as, having the number one spot. But and obviously I think he'll win Iowa. But Joe Biden is still being treated, at least by more mainstream news places than
your
not as the
wonkier
front
kind
runner.
of aspects of things, yeah.
They're like, well, what are we gonna do? He's polling incredibly well. That's what
That's all
we
it
need
takes.
to look forward to with him. So this upcoming debate is going to be insane, though, because Bloomberg didn't make it, so he'll probably put on an ad every 30 seconds Being like, don't you miss me? Shouldn't I be up there with my small 5'1" frame? Here's a photo of all the people I know. Oh, no, don't look at that person. The Epstein's helper? Wrong photo to use.
No,
in the
he's
stock
somebody
photo.
else. That's Schmeffrey Schmepstein.
It's just
Totally
a badly
different
drawn on pair of glasses and a mustache.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like a little. That's perfect. Little Groucho Marx thing.
Yeah, Groucho.
See, I was
yeah.
just picturing like Jeff Epstein like in a wife beater with like a Photoshop gold chain around him and like a thick Armenian mustache put on.
Oh yeah, no, enlighten us to what a thick Armenian mustache is, please.
Well, it's the Armenian mustache is still not recognized by the Turkish government, which is
Oh no,
kind of problematic. But
wasn't
Ask
there like a
Hassan
thing to
about it.
recognize that by the U.S. government not too long ago that like kind of fell through?
we finally acknowledged it just as a fuck you. That was the worst
God.
reason for us to be like, yeah, fine. I guess you did commit a war crime.
If there's anything
Whatever.
Americans do well, it's spite.
That was the real reason that Kim Kardashian has been influencing Kanye West. Not prison reform, but the final acknowledgement of the Armenian genocide.
Yeah,
Ah.
God.
Well, yeah, we would be able to talk about the debates, but, instead we're going to talk about how Bloomberg can actually just basically purchase way more, influence than anybody else who's actually running a real campaign can.
Yeah, I mean, Bloomberg, to his credit, has said that if Bernie is the nominee, he will vote for Bernie, which, kind of slaps.
Sure, bud. Sure.
Yeah. That's his way of trying to appeal to the young people, is to be like, no, I definitely would vote for him. Uh-huh. Totally.
If I wasn't trying to outspend him and oust him as the, front runner,
Yep.
which good society when you can just purchase your way into positions of power. I mean,
Yeah.
set up very well.
Nothing wrong about it whatsoever.
Nope.
You've never seen anybody try to buy their way into being the the head of the Texas education system.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. The education systems in every state, they run just fine, just like clockwork, and especially in Texas. A state with no actual state income tax, and so everything is based on property taxes. So that just leads to perfect results all the way through, right, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah. When they said Tea Party, they didn't mean the Texas Education Agency Party.
Oh shit! Oh, deep cuts right there.
Where
my library
Very good
commission's head's at,
2008.
huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, because everything is done off of property taxes instead, as long as you have some could be gerrymandering, which is a thing that we know still exists, and we have like the papers on it now. Or it could be you could even maybe call it segregation, where you use property tax rates on different parts of the city to make people that maybe have a little less spending money congregate together because they have to in order to survive. And then you make the school that they go to tied to their zip code, and then they pay for that school with their property taxes. And I've posted lots and lots of times about that one picture where it's where it's like the Houston public school in like the south side of Houston, where income is very low, and it looks like it was built in the 70s because it was. And then you look at Cinco Ranch High School, which looks like a fucking college just in the west of Houston where all of those mansions are.
Now, are you implying that some weird form of self-segregation and white flight would actually lead to an income disparity and then a resource disparity in Texas, of all places?
Yeah, Texas is really the progressive bulwark of this country. I don't know if I'm following here.
Yeah, land of Beto O'Rourke.
I think you mean Robert O'Rourke, the
Irish.
Irish.
True.
The
Robert
Irish last
Francis
name doesn't
O'Rourke.
fool
Fucking
me.
Irish.
Fuck. And I don't know if it's, even if all of that is, on accident, and, maybe it's just a happenstance that comes about when you try to protect the freedom of the citizens.
Well, I mean, the thing, though, that inspired this specific conversation.
I mean, yeah, we could go
well,
on.
hang on.
I'm
I'm working
the Texas
into it.
education system sucks ass.
I'm working into it.
Which you
I'm
can
saying
tell by
it
all
could
the
be
three of us.
happenstance. It could be happenstance. It could be not by design. But there is an article that is from
Maybe
the
it's
New York
segregation.
Times
Maybe it's Maybelline.
that is comparing and contrasting the textbooks from Texas public schools. And it actually goes over the differences between them. I think they took 8 different textbooks, and they found specific.
Oh boy, they are juicy.
They found specific stories about either like the segment about the Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms.
Yeah, I think we should really chew on these
Stories about the Harlem
kinda explain
Renaissance.
These out.
Yeah, the African American movement, African American cultural movement, culturally significant African American movements of art and education, very core value things like our Bill of Rights.
Well, so you mentioned the Bill of Rights. That's actually one of my favorite ones. Is the article kind of draws a contrast between the New York textbook, which explains the rulings on the Second Amendment.
California textbook.
Oh, it's California.
Yeah.
Whatever one of those commie coastal states. Anyway. Says that rulings on the Second Amendment have allowed for some gun regulations. In the Texas textbook, it's just blank. This is whatever.
The whole box is just gone.
Yep.
White resistance to black progress is covered very differently. In the California one, it says, movement of some white Americans from cities to suburbs was driven by a desire to get away from more culturally diverse neighborhoods.
Oh, that is the weakest way to put it, too.
Yeah.
Just say they're racist.
But in Texas, it says some people wish to escape the crime and congestion of the city.
Oof. Oof.
Some people wish to escape the urban, aspects of the city. I see what you're saying, Texas textbooks. Jesus.
Yeah. California includes an excerpt from a novel about a Dominican American family to share the experiences of growing up as a child of immigrants in the Dominican Republic in the 1960s. And in Texas, it highlights the voice of a Border Patrol agent. But if you open the border wide up, and the quote from Michael Teague, the border agent, is, but if you open the border wide up, you're going to invite political and social upheaval.
Good.
Yeah. And who would want political and social upheaval? Things are going so great here.
Yeah. Both emphasize the role of big business from the Gilded Age to present. California, okay, Gilded Age, whatever. That's
I'm pretty sure we all recognize at this point that that's supposed to be ironic, right? some history professor somewhere was like, "Hey, yeah, the Gilded Age, right? Because it's gold on top and everything else is shit, right?" And then everybody else just ran with it, "Oh yeah, no, things are going great. Child labor, fuck yeah, that rules."
Who could possibly forget, from ages 14 to 17, when it's impossible to really form a long-lasting relationship with someone? You just call that the jilted age.
Yeah.
Some of those fucking doomer comics, yeah.
People that grew up in Texas and used Texas textbooks may not know, because the California version talks about the pollution they belched into the atmosphere, however, was the beginning of an ongoing problem, how to balance industrial production and environmental concerns. And the Texas one speaks of the age celebrating free enterprise and entrepreneurs. Specifically, Carnegie's success can be attributed in part to his perseverance as he worked hard to overcome the challenges of his humble beginnings.
Wow, this is really ass backwards, huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It's almost like there is, maybe a systemic issue with a systemic issue with I don't know, the education system, the people that are a part of the education system, from the top down, really, or maybe it's a systemic issue of leaving things like an education system up to each state and allowing each state to tell its own story.
If only there was a non-biased federal program to ensure that no child would get left behind.
Yeah,
we definitely didn't fuck that up before.
Yeah, that'll go great. Fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, it is crazy how we're we're open to the idea of using some federal testing, but we're not going to open up to the idea of federal funding whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, and even, I mean, as many problems as there are with having, weird standardized tests that maybe also leave other people behind and don't actually help you learn anything.
See, as a white straight man, I never noticed this, so I don't actually think there's a problem.
Well, in that case, fellow white straight man, let me introduce you to these wonderful things called you have to pay money to go take the test even though you already paid money to have the school.
No. I don't have to pay money. My father has already paid for it. So
My father, who owns a dealership, by the way.
So I'm not quite understanding what the problem is. It's already been paid for.
I think one of the main things
My
is
father worked very hard for all that money.
Because, I mean, I don't, like, somehow I imposter syndrome my way into AP classes in high school.
Hell
and,
yeah.
like, some of those people who took those are still pretty fucking stupid. I mean, I was a libertarian in high school, which, while taking those classes, so you'd think, like, maybe just the whole fucking thing needs an overhaul.
If everyone gets a participation trophy sticker of AP, maybe none of them do.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like Texas isn't fucked up in thousands of other ways. Like,
Yeah,
speaking of a top-down issue.
Other than
you know.
education, we're doing fine. We're doing great.
Absolutely. Like, our governor is just saying, like, we will not be accepting any refugees.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
tired, you're poor, you're hungry, not
Yeah,
welcome
fuck
here.
them.
Yeah.
Tired, you're poor, you're hungry. Take them somewhere else, pal.
The thing with Texas is that it's cheap to live here, but it's because you don't have state income tax, because you don't have some of the other infrastructure things that we have to pay for with our taxes. We don't really
We
have,
don't have anything else other than property taxes, basically.
We have oil fields here. We don't have giant Silicon Valley companies that have built massive centers here. Sorry, Austin. F in chat for Austin.
DFW is just like, we're trying, okay? Have you checked out our beer and wine festival? Huh?
Yeah, our entire city is one big real estate bubble, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everything-
yeah.
Deep Ellum's cool, guys, I promise.
Jesus
Please,
fucking
leave me.
$40 fare there. It'll be great.
Yeah. We don't have some of the problems that people have, but it's more expensive to live here because we don't have some of the systems in place that other states have, like a welfare system, like a functional housing program, like functional access to healthcare. Like we have Walgreens quick. What is the Walgreens?
Basically, what you do if you're sick
Yeah.
is you take the sick person to Big Tex and you sacrifice cattle in front of him. And yeah, depending on if the sun is shining brightly that day, they will be healed within the week. If the sun is behind a cloud or behind fracking smog, as often it is, they will die within the week. So it's really a fucking
My
toss-up.
lesson was to get some BC and Coke, then go to a Fabulous Pho place and get a bottle of Sprite and just hurl all of that into your intestines. And hope
Kelton, also,
that,
I
something
gotta
works out.
clarify. When you say fabulous pho, you mean like pH fabulous, right?
Oh yes, of course.
I gotta just really fucking drive home how insufferable this is.
Yeah, that's in the suburbs of DFW. Fabulous.
Of course.
God.
Yeah, we don't have public transportation here. I complain about it all the time, but how cool would it be if the metro system had any sort of budget and could put light rail not just from downtown to the medical center?
This is the content people crave. It's just like, yeah, let's
Very
talk
very specific. Like gripes
But, I
about.
mean, like, at least, if a government is not going to be providing any sort of a safety net, we don't exist in this weird quasi-police state with fascistic tendencies, right? Because we don't fund our police forces at all. I mean, they must be bare bones if we can't even provide for our poorest or most vulnerable communities.
Well,
right, guys?
See, the thing
about
about that.
Yeah. This intro sucks. This hurts. Ugh.
When you don't have, it's like if you didn't pay Congress people a living wage. If you paid them $15 an hour, they would have to take money from, all sorts of bad folks.
I understand. Because they currently are not taking any money from bad folks, right?
Exactly.
Very, very,
Okay, that's
very
important.
morally upstanding government officials we have.
Only
yeah.
the most ethical oil and gas companies are allowed
Yeah.
to give me money.
Exactly.
It's just weird though, because like the Texas cop who force fed someone a shit sandwich is now back in a job. Like,
Yep.
how the fuck does the police force not think about the optics of that situation?
On a technicality. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, what are optics going to do to, like... Okay, so, well, this is a further, deeper issue, but yes, this obviously is fucked up. But the deeper thing of it is that, so, just in this example, somebody shared a post on Facebook of, hey, let's post in the comments about our fucking, about how much we appreciate our police officers. I don't remember what fucking local news thing it was for, somewhere in the Midwest or something. Anyway, of course the comments were flooded with, like pictures of like pigs and, that I personally, I'm pretty proud of what I posted, that Wonder Chosen thing of how long you've been a cop officer, and it's the, pig's head at the butcher shop. That's a fun one.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And you know what all that's gonna do? Fucking nothing. Like, it's really, really exhausting because, like, yeah, the optics for these police departments obviously are not great.
Well, and the
But
thing
they
about
could
the
not
thing
care
about
less.
the thing about framing it as optics is also they've been shooting people for decades, and the reason why they get away with it is because they have been trained. There's like 2 or 3 different people that go around the country, literally training them on what to say when a shooting occurs, how to fill out the paperwork, how to win court, how to win if you go to court. And they've been training them how to do that.
Oh, God. The Adam Sandler Uncut Gems smash cut of him as an officer. This is how I win.
Oh no.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, they've been doing that. So they don't care about optics. They just care about manipulating the law to keep doing whatever the fuck they want.
In a fucking country where, to go back to last decade, where there's a movement saying, hey, please don't, shoot, black people for very minor fucking, or not even for minor, like, things, but just for nothing, for no reason. And the response to that is, well, actually, no, we should keep doing that. Here's a thin blue line to celebrate it. Like, I mean, maybe it's just that we live in a white supremacist state or something like that.
We gotta be careful throwing around those accusations. Otherwise,
I mean,
our memberships might get revoked, Bo. We can't risk that.
fucking send me to Cuba, sure, I'll fucking swim, whatever. I won't survive the swim, but I'll fucking give it a good try.
Yeah, it's really hard to imagine, like a deep state or some sort of like shadowy, organization that's really working very hard to keep us downtrodden, to just shoot black people as they want, and to police for profit and not to protect the communities. However they think the best way to do it would be, except
Gang, 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 gang.
well, no. Except for the individual actions taken by people that are whistleblowers, specifically the Iraq war leaks that WikiLeaks has, the Afghanistan papers, and and more recently and closer to home, also the daughter of the GOP's gerrymandering mastermind.
Oh yeah,
that
that
dumped
guy.
What was his name? Dick
Jesus
Farts.
Christ. Yeah, no, Dick Farts the third.
Congressman Dick
Thank you.
Farts.
Yeah.
This is a fucking season 2 Tim and Eric thing, and I love it.
It's Thomas Hofeller? Hofeller?
Oh God. Oh no. That was probably like swinging dick what he was called in high school. We're like, oh, look at that hoe feller.
Jesus. Yeah, dropping like, we know gerrymandering is happening. We know segregation is happening. Nobody believes you, even though now we have, all of these files that were dumped onto Google Drive, which, by the way, I downloaded and read a little bit of it. It's really awesome. That,
Everyone
Really
shows.
cool and not depressing, yeah.
Yeah. Even though stuff like this exists, you can't. Now comes the part where you just get gaslit, where you're like, hey, this is happening. They're like, prove it. Now you have the files. We have the Afghanistan papers. We know that we were there for no fucking reason. And what are you gonna do about it now that me do about it? Nothing. Now you know. I don't care what you know.
Me? Do
Yeah.
something?
Well,
No,
I mean, that's
me
kind
do
of
nothing.
the thing is that, like, of course you can try and cancel gerrymandering as much as you want. But,
Guess what, gerrymandering? You're canceled.
gerrymandering, you were fat phobic. Go fuck yourself. Delete your account.
Hey,
No, but like,
listen, I know
Yeah?
that you're a very good friend of gerrymandering, but I just wanted to let you know.
oh, this is the
that,
call-in for gerrymandering.
Yeah. Gerrymandering has done some pretty fucked up things, okay? And we just can't allow gerrymandering in these circles, all right? Especially not in our sweet DSA circles. We're better
in
than
our DSA caucus / polycule / D&D group.
yeah, no
Gerrymandering is not allowed. Yeah.
Oh my god, no gerrymandering in the polycule is a bumper sticker.
But no, to circle back around, like
Jesus Christ.
that's the response of like any scumbag worth their salt is, yeah, so what? Like, what the fuck are we going to do about it if they are gerrymandering, if they're, torturing electoralism to the point that it breaks?
For God's sake,
What the fuck are we going to do, huh?
We've been able to hack voting machines for like 30 years, and they're still using the same fucking ones.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Maybe it's as if I don't
you
know.
mean the Russians have been able to hack our voting
right.
machines, right?
The Russians. Yeah.
Oh,
totally.
true. I'm sorry. I almost defeated my cognitive dissonance there. Good thing you helped me reestablish that.
Almost busted a nut all over my cognitive dissonance. Yeah.
This an ass.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess those are kind of the three things that should be in every Zoomer's electronic external hard drive. Would be the Epstein flight logs, the Afghanistan papers, and the gerrymandering drive.
The Hoffler files.
The Hoffler files.
Yeah.
Again, his name is probably Hofeller.
The Panama Papers.
The
I want to make sure I'm
paper
not,
hurt.
offending him or culturally appropriating his last
Yep.
name.
Out of respect for his daughter, we will not culturally appropriate his last name. Of the Connecticut Hofellers. I mean, it is just bizarre, though, how there are these, giant leaks that come out, and then they disappear from the zeitgeist. And I honestly think that it's probably our larger culture as a whole. Like, Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker, the ending of the Star Wars saga, right?
Yeah.
That thing is gone. No one is really caring about it now. Outside of maybe like what cool thing John Boyega is doing,
Which is why we're talking about it now, right?
yeah, of course. But we're not talking about it, the movie by any means.
Talking about the cultural moment.
That's right.
Which I think that's the problem with the J.J. Abrams trilogy, not a problem with the Star Wars franchise. And that comes down more to Disney's management. Because
I hear your take. I respect it, but I will see you in hell, sir.
how long were we talking about Endgame? How many times? How many weeks did we listen and talk about Endgame?
How many pictures of Thanos' thick, juicy cock did I send to you guys? Huh?
So
Like at
Not
least like 3
enough
a day.
was the answer. Yeah. My priest, my therapist, and, my spiritual advisor have all advised me not to look anymore at Thanos' juicy, juicy ass.
His big purple fucking rutabaga. Anyway. Yeah.
I mean, we definitely, shouldn't, sexually objectify Thanos. That's entirely wrong. I mean...
Yeah, there are larger critiques of online culture and how different it is from
real life.
The difference between talking to people, socializing with people face to face, and socializing with people online. There's lots of critiques to be made, especially with how fast we absorb, consume, and then spit content back out. But I think that it's...
So instead of being a bunch of doomers, we're a bunch of consumers. Is that what you're getting at?
I hate that. Don't say that ever again in my ears.
Yeah. No, we will not ask any more questions. We will just consume and then get excited for the next
Oh,
consume.
fuck, I'm gonna consume!
The fact that his mic cut out just then is perfect. I'm gonna consume.
Oh, babe. Oh, babe. Oh, babe.
Did you consume?
I had a lighter on my fucking desk here a second ago that I was gonna light, like, oh yeah, he's smoking a cigarette after sex, but the joke's
You have
kind of
to
ruined.
ask
'cause I
if she
don't.
consumed. She didn't consume, right? Is that the...
Fuck. Yeah, like obviously, and that's the fault of capitalism. TM.
Yep.
Nerdy guy getting upset at his girlfriend, be like, "I can't believe you would lie to me about consuming."
No,
I
I
don't care
swear,
that you
babe,
didn't
these are
get
my
the-
Funko Pops. I promise.
Look at me right in my Falcor shirt and tell me that we're okay.
God.
Not to bust another big old nut on on big stories that are gonna pop up and be horrible and terrifying
And then we completely forget about
because we can't do anything about it. But
Right,
there
yeah.
is
That's where we were going with it.
the inescapable hopelessness of 2020. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Kelton, do you want to tell them about what the Catholic Church did again?
The Catholic Church did some really, really cool stuff. So
Wait. The Catholic Church are bad guys?
no, they did some really cool stuff. That's what I was saying.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
Tell me more.
Okay. Let me see here.
Let's hear
Now-
a little bit about this.
I'm sure you guys have never heard about any of this, right? But let's just say, for example, if I had to guess, but from 1950 to 2002, there were 4,392 priests accused of abuse, right? Just
That's like-
that many.
That's like not that many a year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to put this in terms that people could understand. Okay, the Catholic Church has only had 878 NBA starting five lineups worth of priests accused of child abuse.
There haven't even
Wow.
been that many NBA lineups in history to date.
NBA priest pedophile league.
But hey, keep in mind also, if the NBA had been, going since fucking medieval times, come on.
Oh, but see, this is only from 1950 to 2002.
Oh no, that's real not good. That's
Yeah,
harsh.
did you think only almost 5,000 children were molested over a course of slightly over 50 years?
Also, that we know of, I mean, is
Yes,
really
these
one
are
of the
how many have
sadder
been
parts about
accused.
this.
Yeah,
accused and
40%.
made public, not anything else there.
40%.
40% of cops, 40% of priests.
Yeah,
Jesus.
the new thing that's breaking is specific to how the Catholic Church is moving and reclassifying holdings. This is the really cool part. In case y'all didn't know,
Yeah, let's get into accounting.
Own property. Yeah, when you own property, it's classified under different names, different shell corporations, companies, even. And the way
companies, if you will.
Don't
and
start this.
when they have estates, churches that go bankrupt,
States.
Don't! I swear to fucking Jesus. Well, not that guy, but somebody.
Swear to me.
I swear to Sonic the goddamn Hedgehog, I'm going to kill you.
Human teeth or without. Sorry, Zach. You were saying the horrifying nature I was trying to make light of.
Everything's a joke to you, Calton. Yeah, no, they're filing for bankruptcy now that rules are changing about how much time a victim has to sue over abuse, because now they can go back and sue for, stuff that happened not within 7 years or whatever. The
Statute of limitations of having your life ruined by one of the largest institutions known to mankind. Yeah,
And oldest, yeah, I mean,
crazy.
shit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're no Disney, but damn.
So the quote is from the Bloomberg Business Week article.
Hold on.
That in many cases,
He's trying to get rid of the competition.
yeah, like I said, Epstein flight logs. In anyways, many cases, churches proceed bankruptcy by transferring and reclassifying assets. The effect is to shrink the pot of money available to clergy abuse victims. And I believe
they
that
basically shielded like $2 billion in assets.
they calculated out, and it's up to $2 billion that they have hidden away from people that are looking for compensation for having their lives ruined.
Jesus.
Yeah, you know that's really just kind of like the equivalent of being like a shitty restaurant owner, and then like when someone dies at your restaurant because of your bad food, you were then like, oh, what? No, I've never had a working oven. Like you've just sold everything.
No, it's just sushi here. Yeah.
Yeah. All we do is sell wraps and lettuce heads that lay on the floor. It's perfect. Don't even have a functioning
Always sells
sink.
foot lettuce. Yeah.
Artisanal foot lettuce also sounds like something that would take off in Austin. So
Oh, it absolutely would. I mean, I would keep that fucking company in business myself. God damn. Gamer girl foot lettuce, baby.
Jesus Christ, Godbo, no.
Yep.
The largest bankruptcy settlement from an archdiocese came in the Chapter 11 filing of St. Paul in Minneapolis. The smallest was in Milwaukee. When the Archdiocese of St. Paul, Minneapolis filed for bankruptcy in 2015, it said it didn't own the parishes, the schools, or the 10 cemeteries within its territory. They took a paintbrush and went to every cemetery and painted over the name Archdiocese of St. Paul, Minneapolis.
Yo, what the fuck?
The lawyer who represented it abused victims of that bankruptcy. He said in a news conference at the time. Church leaders claiming they'd fully disclosed all assets and cooperated with the bankruptcy court said the Archdiocese owned assets worth less than $50 million. Lawyers for the victims said the number was closer to $1.7 billion. The court never reached a consensus, but about 450 people got a total of $210 million, on average about $467,000 each. Some of it came from church assets and some from insurance.
I mean, so this is kind of what I was referring to earlier, is like, in that, like, oh yeah, the real asshole is not the person that fucks up, or, you know, does something terrible, and then, you know, does it again, and is like, oh no, woe was me, you know, because, I mean, obviously that's its own sort of scummy. But it's the, you know, Catholic Church in this instance that molests kids and then says, yeah, so what? Essentially is what they're doing.
Are we the bad guys?
Yeah, like, fucking, I mean, that's the thing, like, you know, by saying, yeah, like, we're pretty transparently, like, you know, because it's still the fucking Catholic Church, like, it's not like they don't have money. They've got buku money going back to fucking, you know, before modern English was spoken, or farther back. I don't know history good, but my point is,
considered the real victims though, about how Tradcath gang is on suicide watch at the moment?
God, I fucking wish they were. Jesus.
They're gonna have to hang up their
copies of
armor.
Mordhau and
oh my God, why is no one made DSA rosaries? It's right there, guys.
God, fuck, shit, fuck.
Yeah.
That's for you, Griff Shop. There you go. That's our
DSA rosaries.
There you go. Pull that one just right.
No, do those really cringy votive candles with, like, you know, Ruth Bader Ginsburg on them. That's what you fucking sell right there. That's where the money is.
Oh my God. Yeah, we just buy regular candles at like the dollar store. Go onto like a sticker, and that's then what we put over the glass.
Go to work and just like scotch tape that to the glass.
If it wouldn't cost $15,000 to try and ship to our Patreon people, that would be excellent bonus content available for them. We could just probably ship a clear sticker instead and just tell them to put it on.
And then build your own kit. Yeah,
some assembly required.
Fuck, that's genius, actually. Oh God. Okay. Well, I sure am glad that, you know, everything is going normal and well in America. Nothing crazy. We're not going to mention Iran again.
We're not actively avoiding like some. Yeah. We're not actively avoiding some major headline that's been, you know, permeating through all of our news about how we're going to war if we are seriously about to go to war, and we're not going to war, but we are imposing these sanctions. So
that's kind of the thing, is like conflict with Iran has been like kind of the hot
conflict
meme.
with redacted.
Yeah, conflict with a country somewhere has been the hot meme for like a minute. You know, in terms of like oh, are we gonna or are we not? Because, it's the Middle East, so, we gotta fuck somebody.
Tradcath gang on a Friday night at the club.
We gotta fuck somebody. Yeah. No,
I'm
but,
not
like, that's the
going
thing.
to sit in mass for 4 hours because I didn't have anything to confess about. What's up? How's it going?
That altar boy, that one right there.
To cock shame the president a little bit, like, we fucking whipped it out, and it was still just not even like regular soft, like, hey, it's like the depths of winter, and we've got a full-on innie kind of soft. So, yeah.
Yes, I agree. Full-on innies, anything below 75 degrees. Completely agree.
That's why it's not INNIE,
I mean,
it's
we all know what
ANY,
a fucking
anything below 70.
Texas winter is, so. But my point is, yeah, like, that sucks. I forget my point I was trying to make.
It sucks, but it's gonna continue happening no matter what. It'll always be someone. It'll be someone this week. It'll be someone last week. It'll be someone new next week. That's what happens.
Because our country's our fucking public memory is garbage. Thanks to the manufactured consent from whatever fucking. I almost said CSI. CNN ghoul happens to be in front of the camera.
CSI ghoul.
Yeah, whichever CSI ghoul.
Oh my god!
Which would be a
Can you
great
imagine
take
the
on
music?
CSI. Like, instead of investigating murders and checking out the corpses, they just fucking eat them.
Yeah.
David
read
Carradine just
read manufacturing consent and vote for Bernie Sanders. Yeah. So we're gonna do some plugs real fast, and then we're gonna get to our viewer questions, concerns, and general complaints.
Yeah. I mean, we're kicking
lot of
off
complaints.
2020, so we just wanted to describe to people some of the changes that's going to be happening. We swear we're gonna try to get through this quickly, so that way then we can get to people's questions and all that fun stuff.
Because we are balls deep in complaints, and not in the fun cool way like you want to be. Like, they're just up to our balls.
Yeah, I need to talk to
we're
the
standing up.
HR of podcasting right now.
Yeah.
But real quick, before I forget, shout out to all of our patrons, including Scott for contributing to our dialectical tier, and Allie and Lauren for contributing to our new Devil's Advocate tier. Update on that in just a moment. So, obviously, if y'all have made it this far, you're, just a real comrade for sticking around and actually caring enough to hear about what all is going on with us in 2020.
Yeah, and now it's time for doodly-doo, musical bump. What the fuck is going on with the Psychic Dolphin Garage in 2020?
What a musical bump it was. Damn.
Well, we lost our Twitter account for a while because they thought it was spam because I run it. So of course they did.
Spam, right. Just like fucking argument winner is spam. Totally.
Yeah, why not just call me Eggs while you're at it, eh?
Hey, wise guy. Huh? Hey, Jack. Because the joke is at Jack on Twitter, but also Jack is a general term for hey, buddy.
Jack off.
There we go. Fucking way to ring it out. Yep, good.
Way to ring it out. Something I also hear every Friday night. So we lost our original Twitter account for a while, and things were looking pretty dark. So we set up a podcast backup Twitter account, and we then got our original back, but we're keeping our backup just so that way then it's always good to have a backup, but also to essentially function as the id of our podcast, if you will. So we're trying to make that hit 1K on Twitter. That would be great. We'll do another Twitch marathon or something to celebrate that fact. We'll force Bo into it, okay?
Yeah.
As a result, though, what we have also decided to do was to create a subreddit, and it's r/Psychic Dolphin Garage. And that has almost 2,100 people of you fuckers in there.
Yeah, people have been hopping onto that. It's real great.
It's awesome to see. So I'm glad that people enjoy the memes that are posted in there enough to hit the join button.
If this is your first episode from the subreddit, first of all,
sorry.
Wow. Yeah. No, really, this is the equivalent of us showing up to a job interview and we shake your hand and our pants fall down and a fucking little slide whistle plays. But yeah, sure, great.
Some littler side whistles than others, but
Jesus.
And then we also, of course, we're doing Discord. There's always fun shit happening there. We, of course, love all of our patrons, but anyone who is a member of our Discord, if you have a spare nitro boost, just give it to us.
Huh?
Yeah, give it to us right now. Do it.
Do it.
See?
Like Star Wars. Like, y'all know Star Wars? Like,
Yeah.
It's a Star Wars reference.
Yeah, we're gonna start. I'm gonna start trying to stream like maybe Destiny Tuesdays in the Discord. So we'll see how that works
Ooh.
out.
That could be a blast.
Yeah, the other social media stuff we have is our Facebook group.
Yes.
Yes.
We held
Oh,
a
right,
bloodless
yeah.
coup.
If you're here, all right, no, yeah.
Bloodless.
If you're here from the subreddit, I'm sorry. If you're here from the Facebook group, oh boy.
Yeah. So for people unaware, we created a Marianne Williamson Dink meme stash as a joke
because she
then-
needed one. There wasn't one. Like the market, the free market provides.
Someone's got to do it. I mean, Lincoln
Exactly.
Chaffee's got one.
And so then we wanted to view that as being very, very funny for us as a kind of an inside joke. And then shit got a little out of hand. Things got a little serious. And thankfully some people were running it as a legitimate group that we were able to network with, and that was great. And then, the New York Times wrote about it and Vox wrote about it. And then Marianne Williamson dropped out. So now we're deciding to pivot. So there's still like 3,800 people in that group, even after the name change and all of the goddamn dolphin memes.
All of them. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
So many of them.
So we're still going to try and cull all those fuckers out of there. Like, but I would assume at the
Just a
very
bunch
least,
of call out posts.
call out posts. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah.
Yep.
That's my job. I'm the one supposed to do that.
Well, listen. So hopefully, if you want to join and you want to help with the culling, like just post dolphin themed posts talking about how communism will win. That's the plan.
Yeah. Vote Daddy Bernie, bitch.
Yeah.
The other media platform before we get into content is Twitch. We're sticking with Twitch, streaming on Fridays, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're gonna really try and focus on getting guests to jump in with us as they can.
And by guests, we mean we're doing the guerrilla warfare of getting new podcast hosts.
That's right.
There you go.
It's the minor league baseball, essentially, of what we're doing. Because, I mean, it would be very cool for us to try and get, like, a fourth mic at some point in time. But I think, as of right now, just trying to find...
Griffin McElroy, if you're listening, I'm local, I'm wet, and I'm ready.
No, that's how we lose both the My Brother and Me podcast.
We're married now.
My sub, and me.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm the secret fourth McElroy brother by marriage.
Oh god! Twitch is just Friday nights at 8 p.m. CST. Twitch.tv/Psychic Dolphin Garage. Maybe we'll start doing other days.
Yeah.
But but for the podcast itself, we're still doing our quest for 100 iTunes reviews.
Yeah.
We have a couple here that we want to thank people for leaving. This one from Slut for Trucks with TRUCKX.
Oh, like
said,
the magazine. The Truck
Yeah.
Sluts magazine.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Holy shit.
Who says, I have felt a great undoing. It is both horrible and perfect. Thank you, Slut for Trucks. We were glad that we could share this experience together. Mark R. who said, great. Just found you all and love it. Thank you, Mark. We apologize immensely to the changes that will be wrought in you, and we apologize to your friends and family as well.
Yeah.
But
the
since
brain
you
poisoning.
Good luck, fucker.
Since you have left a review, you are, also able to participate in our Quest for 100 review giveaway, which we do have two T-shirts, two shops from Grift Shirt, two
Yeah, there you
T-shirts
go.
from Grift Shop, the Slick Willy T-shirt and the Gender Reveal Pipe Bomb T-shirt, which you have seen his merch on our stream. Now you can have it yourself. Leave us this 5-star review. We'll read it out loud here, and when we hit 100, we will do a full-on push to get some free T-shirts out to everybody.
It's got to be 5-star too. Any of you fucking people half-assing it with like, oh yeah, they're a good podcast, but are they a great podcast? You don't
the
get a
first
t-shirt.
7 episodes. I don't know, man. Like,
Don't worry, we're getting rid of them, okay?
we're quote unquote remastering them. Yeah.
yeah,
We
yeah.
are sending them to a re-education camp.
Fuck yes.
So
Then,
quickly before we get to our the rest of our questions.
Yeah, the actual stuff that people care about. Other stuff to be made aware of. Dolphin Locker, the sports show, is coming back on Thursday, January 23rd, as a weekly fantasy sports show. Yeah,
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
and then
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
I think we're also going to be streaming on YouTube. That's the goal. So
Yeah.
we'll be making it work. Then on Destiny Tuesdays, of course, happening on Tuesday, it's going to be an increasing focus to Crucible or strikes or raids, even.
Which would be really cool if I knew what Destiny was. Explain that briefly.
No, it's free on Steam. Download it.
Yeah, and what's happening over in the world of 15 million flowers, Zach?
I am expected to move to once a month episodes, just because we have a lot of content coming out, and I would really like to have the time to try and get, like, no offense to any of our previous guests, but I want to get somebody that is like a professor. A professor, some sort of has a degree in something, or is really known for having good takes.
A job in the Takes Industrial Complex. Yeah.
Yes. So
I'm just picturing Gwyneth Paltrow and Barack Obama now being very sad that they can no longer be qualified for your podcast episodes.
I have to cut off toxic relationships.
New year, new you.
Yep.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, enough about my segment.
Yeah, there is going to be a new thing I'm going to start to fill that content void in y'all's souls. It's going to be called Gigo, GIGO, stands for Garbage In, Garbage Out. It's a new trash TV and movie talk show. We're not really going to do reviews of things so much as just doing plot recaps and then riffing on it. So you can expect that on the first Friday of the month, roughly, starting in February. So originally the idea was season 2, but that feels already like forever ago. So we'll be trying to keep it as topical as we can.
Yeah.
With that.
In this constantly hurtling forward media landscape that we inhabit.
Yeah, I can't wait to record something and then 3 days later watch as no one cares about it again.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mandalorian. What the fuck is a Mandalorian?
Oh, Baby Yoda show. That's right. Yeah.
What the fuck is a Yoda?
Jesus Christ.
I just know the little green minion.
Oh, no.
Fuck.
No, I've not been the first to say it. Baby Yoda is just minions for millennials. I'm telling you.
No,
That makes sense.
Instead of Garbage In, Garbage Out, we're going to call that show Baby Yoda Death Cult.
Oh, there you go. Just stealing valor like that. I see your game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of stealing valor, if you guys want to check out our Patreon and maybe subscribe to us, we have streamlined the tiers. They're much less confusing now.
It's no longer cutesy. It's just 5 tiers, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a Patreon post about that. Go check it out. Patreon.com/PsychicDolphinGarage.
All right. On to
Oh my god, now that no one's listening.
yeah, now that we weeded out the weak.
We should put like a little bump that's like, hey, if you don't want to listen to this shit, then skip to the questions at.
I think what will be easiest is if we start off with the Discord question, then rotate between voicemails and Twitter questions. Does that work for everyone?
Works for me.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's stop
right.
talking about it. Let's just fuck this duck.
Yeah, so Skull Madness on our Discord asks, let's just say you woke up one morning with the ability for your body to make any possible sounds while orgasming.
Oh no, this is not the kind of question I was expecting.
What sound would it be?
I mean, like, so I think I actually saw like a Twitter post like this going around not too long ago, and the Quake jump noise, I can even fucking edit in here. It's just a and it's Trent Reznor doing it. And that'd really just be, like, instead of me coming, it's Trent Reznor coming. And that could be really cool. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Okay. Zach, what about you?
Mine would be a 1965 Buick Riviera GS with a 7-liter engine revving.
This is an aggressively boomer answer, I hope you know.
Yes. One of us has to be the boomer.
This is an aggressively boomer answer. Yes.
That would just be the sound. Yes. 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 I think my pick would be the entire song Good Vibrations by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
God.
Just because it would be, in my mind, funnier for the cum sound to last longer than I do. So. It's a good way to inflate your numbers, I guess. It's
like, oh no, yeah, we were at it for a good, fucking half an hour. Meanwhile, you actually busted in 20 seconds, but fucking nobody else needs to know that.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Hey, I might have busted in 20 seconds, but Blue Chew helps me keep it up.
I had a whole King Crimson album going after this. Yeah.
All right, are we doing voicemail or Twitter first?
Yeah, so the next voicemail comes from Wide Load Pod.
Hi, Psychic Dolphin Garage. This is Wide Load Pod from Wide Load Pod on Twitter, patreon.com/wideloadpod. If you join our $5 tier, you get access to all our bonus episodes. Anyways,
we were wondering, how do you get clout as a leftist podcaster? We'd really appreciate an answer. Thanks, guys.
So that was our question from @WideLoadPod on Twitter, patreon.com/wideloadpod. This is Matt @Juche Costco and Kai @post_pog from WideLoadPod. Thank you.
Well recorded, folks.
Yeah, I wonder who that was from. I couldn't tell. Do you know, Bo?
They didn't mention it at all.
I think they mentioned something. I don't have a pen and paper on hand, so I couldn't quite get any of the links.
I guess regardless, shout out to our good buddies over at Minion Death Cult for leaving that voicemail.
That sounded like them.
The best way to build up clout, if you're wanting to, amass.
Because this is clearly a Kelton question. I mean,
yeah. I hope it's the last Kelton-based question because Daddy just wants to go on autopilot and watch the Seattle Seahawks upset the Green Bay Packers. That's what he wants. But the best way to build up clout is honestly to follow as many people as you can. Literally find the big podcast that you like. So not us, but the ones you actually enjoy. See who follows them, then follow all of those people. And you're going to think that I'm joking. I mean that. All of them. Go until Twitter tells you to stop, then wait 24 hours, then go again from the last save point that you had in your tab, and keep going until Twitter tells you to stop again. Do that for, how long did it take, Zach? About a month and a half. And then keep a Google Drive doc folder of the different podcasts with hyperlinks to their respective social media accounts that then you can check in at least once a week and then follow any of the new followers that they ascertain.
So what you're saying is do a full sociopathic marketing thing, but for podcasts. I love it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then
here's the thing:
unfollow from time to time all the people who, of course, won't follow you back,
just as a power move. Yeah.
Correct. And then use those inflated numbers to get a legitimate podcast on, because all you need is one. Really, get them onto your show. And not some quirky Twitter personality. No offense to them, but someone who is
Wobs or anything like that.
Yeah. None of us. But someone with a legitimate following or with a legitimate message who actually is good at what they do, and then use that as your sample podcast to then show other people. And then
this is terrifying.
While you're recording, Skype doesn't crash right in the middle of it, so you're forced to jigsaw together some audio parts.
Hey now.
All the way through.
This is like listening to Patrick Bateman talk about his fucking skin routine. Like, this is...
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, because everyone assumed that Kelton was the soft, cute, cuddly one of the group instead of the most neurotic motherfucker alive. Absolutely.
Leftist clout is not about how good your posts are. Sorry, Liv. Leftist clout is about how psychotically you worm your way into the social circles of other leftist podcasters.
Damn,
Oh yeah, because
I think it's almost as if we're approaching clout from a market-based fucking perspective. Maybe clout needs to be democratized.
decentralize the cloud. That's what our backup page is for. Everyone should follow that, by the way.
No, we're just the Anna Delvey of podcasts.
I mean, we really did kind of cancerously network into the scene, but we
which is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, we do honestly. I do feel like people follow us back because we have a decent social media presence, and we're not cops. Like, it's not that hard to post. Okay, it is hard to post a lot. It's not that hard to put some effort into posting more, and to...
A division of labor is all you need, though. Like, we here, this actually ties in. I'm going to move to our next Twitter question here because we can actually answer that. That is going to come from Jean-Paul Blarter. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that. But the question is, I'd like to hear the origin of the pod.
But like Paul Blart. That's good. That's a good username. That fucking slaps. That rules.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear the origin story of the pod. That is step 1, how you all met, and step 2, how you all decided to start a podcast. And I guess, for the people, like 3 of you that are still listening, the origin story is essentially Zach and I have known each other basically since college. Zach gave me drugs. I consumed drugs. We became friends.
Drugs are good. Drugs good.
Then as we dived into meme groups, we somehow skated all around the edgy internet without being made into members of the alt-right. And so then I just created a meme page on Facebook that then ballooned up, and as it was blowing up, I created a couple of backup pages. Then that blew up, and then I had a whole network of Facebook pages, and like in between like 10 to 35,000 likes each. And I was like, I have a finger on the pulse of the zeitgeist. Time to do what I've always made fun of, and then start a podcast. And Zach,
you live by the podcast, you die by the podcast.
Yeah. And Zach and I previously talked about doing a podcast. We had actually wanted to do one called Conversations About Drugs While on Drugs, where we would then
why are we not doing that podcast? That would be so much fucking better than whatever this is that we're doing.
Yeah, the odds of overdosing while talking on Kamala Harris are significantly lower.
Oh no!
While in the middle of a K-hole. So, Kamala K-hole coming soon, 2021.
Yeah, that's a joke I haven't seen anybody do. Fuck, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then we just
what did we do? We invited Bo. We invited Bo on because I knew Bo from other meme groups. I was like, Bo's a poster. He'll post.
Post hard or post
on our. Yeah, he'll post hard on our meme pages. Bo did not post very hard on the meme page.
No, he did not.
But and Bo still doesn't post, so it's fine. He knows his place. And
I got banned from Facebook, so then Zach had to manage all of the Facebook pages and all of the Instagram.
Yeah, and so we had a bunch of other people helping, and Bo was like, I knew of Bo through like other meme groups, and I like shared his stuff a lot, as one does.
I post good.
Yeah, when you post good.
Real good.
And so when Kelton and I finally were like, all right, time to maybe take this meme stuff to the next level.
Yeah, this will be an easy transition, right? We're so popular on Facebook. Surely leaving the Facebook bubble for another form of media entirely, it's a 1-to-1.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
and-
someone likes your memes on a Facebook page, they'll
You
definitely
can just get
listen to your
married
podcast
right then and there. That's how it works.
Yeah, no, I think what it was we had kind of seen how big Chapo Trap House got, and when you're just working on one social media platform, it's hard to make a brand that will do well without paying to make it do well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's also hard to have a brand that you can then leverage into being big on other social media platforms just automatically. And so the best way to have like a centralized brand is either audio or video format. And we are not ready for YouTube yet.
Well, except the Dolphin Locker show. So we're
we're working on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year. At a year, we'll reconsider our, what we can put onto the YouTube.
Brian David Gilbert, if you're listening.
Yeah. So again, Bo came easy, and he will also leave easy.
Came hard.
Yeah, you just buy me a couple drinks. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, and then you're sitting at the bar, and suddenly you hear the Halo man or the Doom guy. Is it Doom guy? It's the Quake guy. Sorry, I forget which
There we
one it
go.
is that we're on. Okay, yeah, Quake guy.
I'll put in those sound effects.
Yeah, we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
And so once Kelton and I had done a couple episodes, it was like, all right, we need someone else because Kelton and I, entertaining, illuminating. Kelton and I with Bo, revolutionary, groundbreaking,
True visions, right there. Plus, there's a lot of stereotypes about 2 white guys on a podcast. But if we get 3 white guys on a podcast,
Nobody's ever done 3 white guys on a podcast.
Yeah.
then especially if we then add a 4th chair with woman and or minority, man, it's perfect. Wait for us to really break the mold here, fellas.
And then we get a guy with an ascot and a guy in a green shirt and a talking dog.
All right, time for the next question. Let's see. It comes from.
Are we gonna do a voicemail? Actually,
No. We gotta double up on the questions.
Okay.
Real
Okay.
quick. It comes from. This is great on Twitter at Major Simp, who asks, if there was a theory book I had to read, what would you recommend? Zach, that's all you.
Jesus.
I don't read. Bo, do you read?
I have read some, not only just like sentences, but also full on books in my time.
Jesus Christ.
That's such
Get
a.
the fuck off this show.
First of all, the podcast you're looking for, don't read. Just go listen to the Marks Madness podcast.
Or Proles the Round Table is actually really good if you're like looking for like a historical kind of angle. We are not that, but
those people read.
But fucking if I had to choose one, Sylvia Federici's Caliban and the Witch is like a really good, like, just quick and dirty, very Italian rundown of, hey, here's how we got to where we are from feudalism to capitalism, and it wasn't like what your fucking history classes are like, oh yeah, people just decided, lords suck, I love paying rent. It's more like, fucking the people were forcefully dispossessed their land. Women were like oppressed in new, in fucking innovative, terrible ways, and it sucks. So yeah, Sylvia Federici's Caliban and the Witch. That's my fucking recommendation for like.
Yeah.
Just and it's a fucking page turner too. It's written like so that even an idiot like me can read it. So
Yep.
I recommend it.
Yep. If you are asking which one you have to read, if you haven't read the manifesto, just read the manifesto.
What about the One Manifesto?
Damn.
different
Busting
times.
into 2020 so woke.
It's a different era, okay?
Yeah, we all know from like historical accounts that Marx did not bathe. So
Yeah, honestly, like, king shit. Did not bathe, cheated on his wife, like, man.
Yeah.
Am I
If
right?
you've read the manifesto,
yeah, goals, right?
Jesus. Yeah, one day I will be just like that. But not today. Yeah, if you haven't read the manifesto, like, read the manifesto. If you've read the manifesto and you're looking for like your baby's first theory book and you're willing to put the hours in, read Das Kapital. That one's important. You don't have to read it. You can listen to other people read it and talk about it and understand the ideas just as well for yourself, because Das Kapital is not easy to read. But you should read it. And if neither of those are attractive options, you should do like we said in earlier in the pod and read Manufacturing Consent.
Manifesting Consent. Zach's
The
Guide
Marianne
to Dating.
The Marianne Williamson.
Oh no.
The Marianne Williamson Guide to politics.
I mean that's a really good concept to have in general in terms of like what the fuck like news and media tries to do these days of like, oh yeah, y'all want a war with Iran, right? No. But what if?
Are you sure?
Unless it's literally that, but for like tricking the just regular folks of the world into thinking that capitalism's good.
And that one's also great for self-radicalization, for ideas that can radicalize others, not necessarily straight to communism, but at least away from the American military-industrial complex, the American media system. And can maybe help you start to question other things that you consume, other media you consume that exists solely to propagandize your thoughts.
Yeah, that's the most we can hope for. But moving on to the next thing we need to consume, let's check out this voicemail.
Yo, Dolphin Garage, what's up? It's Carter from New York. Been listening to the pod for a while now. Really enjoy it. Look forward to it every week. Of course, I was like, as a Star Wars fan, just trying to keep myself under control, listening to the latest episode, and it's cool. I understand not everybody is like huge and hot to trot on Star Wars, and that I overlook a lot of stuff. However, I just wanted to point out Luke and Leia did not fuck. Okay. All right, and that was implied. It was a much more just benign message in that your family is who you choose, and that, no spoilers, but just that character decided that Luke and Leia were their family and no one else, and that, we're still talking about a sci-fi universe in which people can die from childbirth or sad moods, so I really doubt that they'd be able to seriously correct any genetic defects. But just wanted to point that out because, not my feelings were not hurt that you guys were driving that home that Luke and Leia fucked. Jeez. All right. See you around. Bye.
All right, Carter. I understand as a Star Wars fan. All right, let's take it from the beginning here. All right, Luke and Leia did not fuck. Maybe. We're gonna put a strong asterisk by that. Okay?
We'll have to get a hold of Mark Hamill on Twitter and just harass him
Second
endlessly
point.
about this.
Talking about in Star Wars, your family is who you choose it is. Huh? Then maybe if that's the case, it's not that bad if Luke and Leia did fuck.
She's not my family.
The fucking folk punk approach to this. Yeah, I see what you're doing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That was an excellent voicemail. I mean, that was raising some.
I'm
some
sure
good
whole
points
podcasts
here,
have been recorded about which Star Wars characters have and have not fucked.
Yeah.
But let's put this in the
also,
canon.
First
though,
of all, Lando Calrissian has fucked everyone,
including his own daughter. Let's. Make
I don't know if that's a
point
character,
clear.
but sure.
Why
not?
Towards the end at Rise of Skywalker, like there was a female character who was like, I've always wanted to know who my parents were, and Lando Calrissian's like, let's find out.
Hey girl,
clearly
I'm your daddy.
implying he's going
Jesus.
to fuck her. It is supposed to be though that he is actually her father. So,
Thanks, Disney. Very wholesome family movie you made here.
heavily
Appreciate it.
implied. Yeah, just the next day is Lando Calrissian vomiting into a space toilet for 12 and a half hours, horrified at what he's done and what he's become. The savior of the galaxy, but at what cost?
My arthritis, it's healed, but this damn medicine, what has it made me do?
God, Billy D. Williams, honestly, like, good on him. Get that Disney money.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry that, you've poured so much of your life into something that Disney has taken a giant warm shit on top of.
Yeah,
And
by the way,
then-
Carter, if you ever want to talk about like Eternal Empire from Old Republic, get at me. Let's nerd out on this shit, man.
Yeah. Disney has done what that cop did. They took the shit, they put it between two pieces of bread, and they fed it back to you.
Then
And
got off on a technicality.
Yep.
Oh, they got off on it, all right.
And I feel sorry, but as we said, this is the last Star Wars discourse that will ever be heard.
We're never
again.
talking about Star Wars, ever. Star Wars, sports, none of it. Please, I'm begging.
Next on Jedi-themed ESPN. Oh, God.
Yeah, so I'm glad we could get your voicemail here. Your feedback here is super welcome, and like we
We
said,
don't agree with it, but by God, will we respect it.
yeah, you get it, Kelton, to nerd out on it because Star Wars could be much better if it was, I don't know, run by small studios of people that have good writers.
Just
and
consume better art. Consume fucking fan fiction, for Christ's sakes.
Of Lando.
Of
and
Lando.
Leia, question mark.
No,
Oh.
of fucking Finn
Oh.
and Poe, or whoever they are. I sound like a fucking boomer saying this, because I'm barely in the loop, but I know they fuck. They're supposed to fuck, right?
Yeah. Where's my Penn
Yeah.
and Teller fanfic from Star
Yeah,
Wars?
Penn and Teller, that's who they are, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Libertarian magicians, totally.
Fuck.
That's what Star Wars is about, is libertarian magicians.
All right, now we got
Next. Yeah.
we got an interesting question here on Twitter from Antigrav Plays, host of Downtime Grift. You can listen to the episode I will be a guest on at some point. I don't know when he releases that, but regardless, he asked, ranked choice voting, who is the hottest? Tulsi, Warren, Harris, Williamson, Klobuchar.
Dude.
Listen. We had a very heated discussion off mic about this, but we came to the results of Tulsi, then Harris, then Warren, then Williamson, then Klobuchar.
I am still, no, fuck you, I am still furious Bernie's underrepresented here.
Yeah, where is Andrew Gang on the ranked choice voting ballot of who
Why
is the
the
hottest
fuck
one?
is Julian Castro not a choice here? I mean, I get that.
As Vice,
That-
fuck, marry, kill,
Well, you see,
yes.
he gave his hotness points to Warren, and so that really.
I understand
did,
that maybe anti.
The hotness electoral college is fucking outdated
I
and should be
understand
abolished.
that maybe anti-grav is, contributing to by erasure by not including any men in this list. But
Yeah,
what can
okay.
I say?
All right, on to our next voicemail from, let's see who.
Hey everybody, Anti-Grav here, calling from inside the Psychic Dolphin garage. And I'm here to ask a question. Who do you guys think is the greatest shitposter on Twitter? Thank you so much, and as always, contribute to the Patreon at Psychic Dolphin Garage, spelled PSYCICDOLPHIN Garage, which is pronounced exactly how it sounds.
Well, thank you very much for the voicemail, Antigraph. It's nice to see that we can have people calling in to our podcast that then are plugging our Patreon.
Hell
You know,
yeah,
that-
crazy how that works.
That is the next level of
That's
leftist
hardcore
clout.
simping.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Greatest shit poster on Twitter. I mean, I think we got to go.
We
with,
don't know who that is. It's impossible for us to know who that is because the person who is
The greatest shit poster is some
hardest.
2-follower account with fucking nobody following it, and I don't know.
It's like a wine mom
Fuck, it's
in
drill.
Sacramento.
It's drill. Whatever.
No, drill fucking sucks these days. Are you kidding
Hey,
me?
fuck you, man.
He
Drill's
has
classic.
he has like a.
Is it actual shit?
Are you going to
posting
tell me
now?
like drill is like dad Twitter or something? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
like
Yes.
he's quickly approaching it?
Like
Yes.
he has a
Oh, fuck
TV show
y'all.
now.
Yeah. I always love those shit posters who have actual shit posts. You know, the ones that are of such a quality that they get Adult Swim shows. Yes, that's definitely shit posting.
Hey,
Come
man.
on now. Yeah. No, the best posters in the world these days don't even know they're posters. They're Sacramento wine moms who take like 3 Xanax at 9 p.m. and then have like this like crazy persona whenever they get online to their
Y'all remember
37
fucking
followers.
Horse ebooks.
No. What?
All right, fucking whatever then. Fine. Whatever then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bo is mad at the last two questions because they just
Yeah.
don't meet his high standards for it.
I'm telling you, horse ebooks. That was a different time.
Yeah. Apparently, Zach is the boomer, but you're the one asking, like, you guys remember horse ebooks?
You guys remember fucking playing the hoop and stick game?
Wait, is this literally the horse ebooks account on Twitter at horse_3books?
No, that's a different thing. Whatever.
Oh, here it is. Okay, this is the one that has 154,000 followers. Yes,
I'm not going to go into a fucking history of horse ebooks.
They definitely shit post, nothingness into the void.
This is a dumb fucking question from a...
If you have over 1,000 followers, like, you are a Twitter persona, or you are trying to be, you're not a legitimate shit poster.
And flatulencer. There we go. That's how you shit post.
Cut print
boys.
podcast.
All right,
Yep.
Two more questions.
Just one more question, and then one more voicemail. This is a question from Twitter. It comes from Cancel Me, who asks, how can we keep the lizard people from falling off the edge of the flat earth? Also, what's your thoughts on the biathlon as a sport? I mean, Zach, do you want to take this one? You're the one always complaining about bi-erasure, so...
Yes. Biathlon, I sure am glad that we have something as a community that we can wait a second. A biathlon is exercise?
That's right.
This is also bi-erasure.
I think they're just confused. It's either you ski or you shoot. All right, SJWs.
Yeah. I'm when I shoot my skeet.
Oh, don't.
That was bad.
That was the worst. I love it.
Oh my god!
This is Texas that we're podcasting from. In case you weren't aware, this sport only Canadians do. Okay, like ask dumb bitch media.
No. The Texas, specifically Houston, Gulf Coast Solidarity, jet skis plus rifles. Okay.
Oh, that actually sounds fucking amazing.
God, why can't that be the Libertarian Convention? Why can't they just the convention is everyone gets on jet skis with rifles and just rides around all day? The trick to keeping the lizard people from falling off the edge of the flat Earth. The thing is you see, lizards have a great sense of direction, but it's really fucked up by us having a North Pole, which is, the magnetic center of the Earth. So they can't actually fall off because of the way that their direction sensing works. It's off magnetism. And because it's only at one center point, they're never ever traveling away from it, because why would you? And so they stay on the Earth, the disc, because it's not like a square. It's like a disc. And so there doesn't need to be like a wall or like a leash system or like like the shock collar stuff. Like it's magnetism, baby.
I got you right here. The reason they're not falling off is because they got sticky little lizard hands. Print, post.
All right.
All right, we got one last voicemail. So, again, the real people who have stuck with us through this marathon episode. I mean, we're barely hanging on to this episode. So.
Hanging on is generous.
Hey, yeah, I'm just calling because I heard y'all need some questions. And recently, my wife and I decided to do the divorce disco. And so I got the home. It's real nice and big, all to myself. And we got the Super Bowl coming up in a couple of weeks. And I was thinking of having the boys over. I'm curious what would you guys serve? I'm thinking chicken wings, hot wings. And if y'all agree with the hot wings, y'all got any good hot wing sauce recipes? That would be fantastic. I look forward to hearing your favorite chicken wing recipes or other food items for such divorced individuals as myself. Y'all have a great day.
Oh my God, you are the greatest human being alive, sir.
I love our fans. This podcast shit has been worth it. I've posted my ass off on Facebook day in and day out. I've posted my fingers bleeding
to the bone.
I've worn the skin off of my hands scrolling Reddit trying to find things that will bring people like this into our community.
Oh, there's so much to get to. Oh my God.
All right. First of all, if you're doing chicken wings, you have to double fry them. You have to don't do that buttermilk shit. Just take the wing, pat it till it's kind of dry. Use
For
cornstarch.
variety's sake, even do some baked wings if you wanted to.
Yeah.
On
If
that
you're gonna
low-cal option.
Yeah, keto option. If you're going to fry them, double fry them. Use cornstarch, use potato starch. I really love potato starch better than cornstarch,
yeah.
but it's a little more difficult to find. Whatever. Use a starch. Dip it in starch. Fry that sucker. Pull it out. Set it on a rack. Let it cool. Starch again. You don't need a binder. You don't need like eggs or anything because your starch will stick to anything. Honestly.
Hell yeah.
And then fry it again. The double fry is the secret. It will be perfectly done. It'll be golden brown. It will taste amazing. The crunch, you will never want to eat another chicken wing that doesn't have that much crunch in it.
But Zach, out of curiosity, do you have any hot sauce recommendations?
Well,
for
let me
this
tell
man?
you, as a host on the Psychic Dolphin Garage, we are by blood oath supposed to stand for the
Dragon's Blood Elixir hot
Dragon's
sauce, motherfucker.
Blood
Hell yeah.
Elixir hot sauce. That's DRAGONSV.
.com.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever your fucking favorite hot sauce is, get something.
No.
that's
You just fucking get a plastic like beer pong table and like a shitty plastic tarp to put over it, and then you just leave them out the night before so they're an adequate temperature for your for the boys. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
True
No, just,
agent of chaos here.
just get a hot sauce. Go get like a habanero hot sauce. Melt some butter. Pour hot sauce into it. The butter will temper your hot sauce. Won't be as spicy, and the butter will help it stick to your wings. Wait until the last possible minute to pour it over the wings to get a big bowl and like throw them in the bowl and stuff. You know how they make it look like they do at Buffalo Wild Wings when really it's just a giant 3D printer that 3D prints chicken.
I was gonna say a big fucking microwave.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck. What else? What else would you do at a?
Come on them. Just come straight all over them.
Hot
glue them suckers.
do an 8-layer dip.
You really can't go wrong with that. Oh,
Get some light beer, shake it up real good, pour half of it out, put the caps back on, and there you fucking go.
All right. So let's set the stage here. Super Bowl. All right. You finally got the
I've heard
house.
of
You
it.
got that bitch of an ex-wife finally gone because of the divorce disco. Oh God, fucking love that
the
phrase.
divorce
It's
disco.
leaking.
We're doing the divorce disco.
So
Holy shit!
this is what we need. We need some Bud Lights, of course. Those are classic mainstays.
Bud Light
We
Lime.
need to get some like right sized, real just midlife crisis edition IPAs that you show to people. You don't have to drink it yourself.
Yeah, no, get the Stone IPAs just to really show that like you're cool, but you're not willing to take risks, really.
Yeah.
No, get some Revolver Blood and Honeys if you're in Texas, because that really shows like. Or no, actually, no, that's a married man's beer. Like it still sucks, but like
Okay.
that's beer for fucking anyway.
The full tang Revolver IPA feels more like a just divorced IPA.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah,
The
It's like-
hopadillo is the thing that screams divorced dad who doesn't see the kids. But then
there's
course,
a
8-layer dip.
there is a brewery, Flying Dog, out of like fucking New England or something, I think. Anyway, they have an IPA called the Raging Bitch. So there you go.
Hell yeah.
There you fucking go.
The 8-layer dip, of course, as Zach said, is going to be strong. Also might suggest just doing a classic nachos plate that you can, tortilla chips and 3 different kinds of cheese.
God, you're
Jalapenos.
divorced. You deserve to have a queso waterfall.
Yeah. Just inject that shit into your veins. But the most important thing of any Super Bowl party that I've been to that I think people tend to gloss over isn't the alcohol or the appetizers or even the entrees. All right, we got to think about the comfort food at the end.
The comfort food.
For when the game is getting boring, or when people are starting to check their phones because it's not doing that great as a blowout.
Because Hyundai put out some ad about like, hey, we should only be a little bit racist.
Yeah, support all the trans troops out there. Hyundai,
exactly.
Let's go get Iran. Being put on. That's where you need to have like some solid dessert options, and I'm particularly partial to Danishes or like Long Johns, but just getting something sweet to then cap everything off and really kick in the heartburn for your guests, so they'll get the fuck out of your house after the Super Bowl. That's really what you need to
throw
focus on
all the Tums away. Just get rid of them. You can go to Walgreens afterwards.
It's the thing to do, people. My God, though, this has been a monster of an episode.
Getting to that final voicemail, worth it.
Yes.
Honestly, the whole episode should have just been that voicemail. I don't know what the fuck else we were doing. That was fucking garbage. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, no offense to Wide Love Pod or Anti-Grav
anybody
or
no.
Carter, but
no offense to ourselves even. Fucking throw that all out. Let's just talk about this guy's Super Bowl plans.
That needs to be your Twitter handle or something. Reddit handle, just start owning that shit. That
Kiwi Farms handle,
phenomenal. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh no.
This took a real dark turn.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I mean it just was insanity. Like that was such a good note to go out on.
Yeah, we've already done the plugs, so we don't know how to end a show now without doing plugs.
Yeah, we're awkwardly just kicking dirt
kicking
around.
The can down the road.
Yeah, so
you guys
at the house
thoughts
party
left?
at 4 a.m. Fucking. Are you guys getting an Uber? Who's getting an Uber? I might just fall on the couch.
My debit card got declined. I can't get an Uber. I'm sorry. I'll sleep out on the porch though, so y'all don't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, because that'll make him not feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, the weird man sleeping on the porch in the backyard, holding that dog down. The dog wants out, but he can't move now.
That death cuddle, or that sleepy, cuddly death grip is just on. The dog fucking gnaws its fucking leg off just to get out.
Hell yeah.
I think that would also happen if you were to, force the dog to listen to death grips. So either way, it works.
Podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to go play some, I don't know, video games or watch One Piece.
Yeah, I don't know, video games, like how the kids say, yeah.
Video james.
Yeah, I'm going to go start hurling insults over at Seattle Seahawks fans because they lost to the Packers. Ha ha ha!
My boys, the Packers are in it. How the fuck are the Packers in it this year? I don't...
I mean, that's a discussion for the sports podcast. But in the meantime, deuces. Thanks for listening to another episode of Psychic Dolphin Garage. Check out our link tree in the show notes so you can join our Discord, watch us on Twitch, and find our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Word of mouth is still the best way for us to bring this weird leftist show to as many people as we possibly can. So if you like the episode, please share it with someone. Anyone. Just one other person at your school or office or parole hearing who you think might like what we do. We trust your judgment. Go ahead and also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Dolphin Garage. Our music is provided by Amoeba Crew. Find them on Twitter at Amoeba Crew. You can find the link to their YouTube page in our episode description.